It's the big political story of the day, and we broke it to you first 24 hours ago. We told you that Arvind Kejriwal was all set to put in his papers, throw in the towel, and he's done exactly that 24 hours after headlines today. First told you that Arvind Kejriwal planned to quit because the Jan Lokpal bill would not be tabled in the Delhi Assembly. It's taken just 49 days for Arvind Kejriwal's chief ministership to come to an end, and not for a single moment in those 49 days have Arvind Kejriwal and his chief ministership and his ministers been out of the news. Every step of the way, we've brought you the news first here on Headlines Today. Remember these pictures on the 8th of December 2013 when the Aam Aadmi Party recorded that spectacular victory in the Delhi elections. These are pictures that are almost difficult to imagine right now, given what has happened in the last 49 days. The adulation, the expectations, the endearment which they really earned with that unexpected performance in the Delhi Assembly on the 8th of December. Just 20 days later, on the 28th of December, is when Arvind Kejriwal was sworn in as Chief Minister. Again, a massive break from tradition. It didn't happen at the Raj Bhavan. It happened among thousands of people at Delhi's Ram Leela Maidan. The symbolism that Arvind Kejriwal has always been so comfortable with was there on full display as he was sworn in front of thousands of his supporters, many of them people who had actually gone out and voted for Arvind Kejriwal and his team into power. On the 30th of December, just 2 days after he became the chief minister, after he was sworn in, he made his first promise. He delivered on his first promise, and that was the flagship water promise. Almost 700 liters of free water every single day to each and every household in Delhi. We know about the problems that are there, but he delivered on the promise. A day later, on the 31st of December, these are pictures from the water promise. On the 31st, the second big promise of Arvind Kejriwal, which was the 50% cut in the water tariff. This was something that he delivered as well. Even to this day, he's being criticized for it. Just a couple of days later, on the 2nd of January, he had his first day in the Assembly. He was surrounded by enemies. On the one side, he had the BJP. On the other side, he had the Congress. BJP a bitter enemy and the Congress a bitter friend, as someone had actually described it at that time. On the 11th of January, again, he was back in the news for all the wrong reasons, this time for the Janata Darbar, which was an absolute and unmitigated disaster. There was crowd chaos. It was a security situation right outside the VIP Delhi Secretariat. It was a bitter lesson that the Arvind Kejriwal government had to learn. On the 20th of January was the famous dharna that Arvind Kejriwal mounted against the Delhi police following a string of incidents. It was symbolic, it was high intensity, the media was there in massive strength. Never before had anyone seen a chief minister spend the night under the stars in protest against the central government's home ministry and the Delhi police that reports to that very home ministry. On the 11th of February, things were raised several notches when Arvind Kejriwal targeted India's richest man. He took on Mukesh Ambani. He said that there was collusion between big business and policy makers to inflate the prices of gas. Even just now, just a few minutes ago, Arvind Kejriwal took Mr. Ambani's name and he said that now that he's no longer chief minister, that campaign will not stop. They're going to continue. And finally, today, the 14th of February, is when we've seen absolutely non-stop drama since the morning. First, in the Assembly, when the Jan Lokpal bill couldn't be tabled, and finally Arvind Kejriwal going to that same balcony where he had smiled and had flowers flung at him when he had recorded that spectacular election victory. And once again, he made a visit to that same balcony to announce to thousands of his followers in Delhi that he had resigned as chief minister. Here's a bit from that speech.
हमने जनता से पूछा, जनता ने कहा जितने दिन समर्थन दे रहे हैं उतने दिन दे रहे, काम करके दिखाओ। हमारी 28 दिसंबर को सरकार बनी। 28 दिसंबर को हम सब लोगों ने शपथ ली थी। दोस्तों, हमारा सबसे बड़ा वादा था
माइक तो लगाओ यार मेरे इसमें
कि हम जन लोकपाल बिल पास करेंगे, भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ एक सख्त कानून पास करेंगे।
न्यूज़ को पकड़ाओ केवल मेरे
इन कांग्रेसियों ने लिख के दिया था कि जन लोकपाल बिल का समर्थन करेंगे। दोस्तों, आज विधानसभा में जन लोकपाल बिल जब प्रस्तुत करने की कोशिश की गई तो बीजेपी और कांग्रेस वाले दोनों मिल गए। मुकेश अंबानी वो शख्स है जो इस देश की सरकार चलाता है। मुकेश अंबानी कहता है, मुकेश अंबानी ने कहा है कि कांग्रेस मेरी दुकान है, मैं जब चाहूं कांग्रेस में जाके जो मर्जी खरीद सकता हूं। और पिछले 1 साल से अभी तक यूपीए की सरकार को पिछले 10 साल से मुकेश अंबानी चला रहा था और पिछले 1 साल से मोदी जी के पीछे भी मुकेश अंबानी है। मोदी जी के पास इतना पैसा कहां से आता है? मोदी जी हेलीकॉप्टर लेके घूमते हैं, इतनी बड़ी बड़ी रैलियों का पैसा कहां से आता है? लोग बताते हैं कि मुकेश अंबानी उसके पीछे है। तो दोस्तों, जैसे ही हमने मुकेश अंबानी पे हाथ रखा, ये बीजेपी और कांग्रेस वाले दोनों इकट्ठे हो गए।